What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie, and I am fighting with Wednesday already. The show just started. What's up, Marcy? Kim is here. Keith, Michelle, Mark is here. What's up, Jessica, Alexis, and Eric joining us. Julia is here. Rachel is here in the War Room. Welcome to episode 209, believe it or not, of Cocktails in the War Room. I'm your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the War Room and happy early Thanksgiving. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm getting a weird echo in my ear. I can't tell exactly what it's from. I just want to make sure that it's only on my end and not on yours. What's up, Carol? Hello, Paul. What's up, Jerry? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome to the War Room. This is where we get together every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern to decompress, to process the week, to kind of figure out what the hell is going on in our lives. And we've been doing it since March 14th of 2020. We did it 80 nights in a row during the height of the pandemic, the height of the craziness. And now it's a weekly thing. And all of the past episodes, by the way, are up on my YouTube channel at Mistress Carrie on YouTube. And they are also all up at mistresscarrie.com if you want to catch up. And while you're on the website, if you're new to the War Room, hold on, I'm getting a dog toy here. If you're new to the War Room, first of all, welcome. Second of all, let us know you're new to the War Room by chiming in on the comments and let us know that it's your first time. So the War Room family, as they have dubbed themselves, can welcome you properly. And also let us know where you're watching from. And I'll warn you already, there's a lot of squeaky toys in this room because Wednesday is the most spoiled dog on the planet. If you haven't met her yet, allow me to introduce you. This is Wednesday. Say hi, Wednesday. You moved the pillow around. We've been fighting with the pillows. She got a lot of toys around here. Say hi, Wednesday. Wednesday has been our co-host, our confidant, our mascot for the War Room, a little bit of everything. Move over so everybody can see your beautiful fuzzy face. And these are just a small sample of the toys that you guys have spoiled her with, and I bribe her with treats to make her sitting here with us. Otherwise, she would will probably be in the other room looking out the window. So, first time since last week, says Brett. Very funny. What's up, Ken? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Goodbye, pillow, says Eric. What's up, Jared? Happy Thanksgiving to you. No, Wednesday is not spoiled, said Jessica. You are absolutely, positively lying. What's going on, Donna? Welcome to all of the new family members, she says, from Charlton, Massachusetts. Andy says he's not here. Tommy Buzzcat is joining us, turning 50 today. So we'll make sure we cheers you when we have our cocktail in a minute. I got a great cocktail recipe for you guys. Marcy says, bye, pillows. Deb says, from Abington, Mass, watch the beginning. Back to work in July of 2020. Well, it's nice to have you back. Jerry says, welcome to the new members. Can't help but love and spoil her, says Michelle. Yeah, exactly. Jerry watching from Foxborough. Who's getting stuffed for Thanksgiving? Mark wants to know. Yeah, exactly. Mark, are we starting the show like that already? Is that what's happening? So we got a lot of stuff to cover. First of all, this is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. It is going to get a little crazy. So cheers to everybody because the next few days are going to be incredibly stressful. If you're not cleaning and shopping and cooking for the people that are coming to your house, you're going to be on the road traveling, probably going to visit people you don't even like anyway, or maybe you're going to be stuck in a room with a bunch of people that you married into or whatever it is. The holidays can be amazing and they can also be incredibly stressful. So for all of us over the next few days, we're all going to need it. So cheers to you guys. Anybody new to the War Room, you can always tell what I'm having based on what I'm drinking it out of. And copper mug means Moscow Mule. So cheers to you guys. Kim says she's watching from Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Jerry says, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Christina says, happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to the club, Tommy. Annette says, welcome, Tommy. Ryan says, what's going on? Jennifer says, cheers. Jessica having a little apple cider, which I absolutely love. And one of the things that I was going to try this year that I have been wanting to try and always forget is one of the family traditions that we always have here at my house is my sister and I, for the last 12 years, have been the ones that cook dinner for everyone in the family. They all come to this house. My sister and I cook for everybody. And we always start the morning off first thing. We cook in our pajamas at least halfway through the morning. We've got to get the turkey in the oven at a certain time. Got to get the ham in the oven. And so my sister and I always have fresh baked cinnamon rolls and mimosas. That's our breakfast every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. And so I always make sure that I have a fresh bottle of Prosecco and that I always have orange juice. I always have fruit for garnish, maraschino cherries, all of that. But one of the things I want to try is I want to try an apple mimosa, which is apple cider and champagne with a little brown sugar rim. This is not the cocktail of the week. This is just something I'm telling you guys I'm going to try on Thursday. People have told me in the past to make a mimosa out of apple cider. Normally, I have a big pot of mulled hot apple cider on the stove. It's part of the family tradition. Everybody comes over with their own mugs, or I have holiday mugs that only come out twice a year, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And everybody has mugs of hot cider in the afternoon. We watch football after dinner. Sometimes we decorate. Hey, what are you doing, weirdo? Sometimes we do gingerbread houses. It depends on if the little kids in the family are here or not. But hey, move over. But I definitely want to try an apple cider mimosa this year, so I'm definitely going to try that. So Eric says, cheers to you and your sister. Why not cook with no pants? Jonathan wants to know. Jonathan, I'll give you an exact example of why you don't cook with no pants. Did you hear what happened to Jay Leno this week? That one of his vintage cars exploded and he was burned about the face and hands. There's a lot of bacon. There's gravy. There is things that spatter. There's ham. There's pants required. We also have one year for Christmas, my mom, my sister, and I bought all three of us matching aprons because my mom was also helpful. Wait, what are you doing? Why are you sitting on this side where there's no camera? How about this? How about you come over here? Yeah, because the cookies are out now. And so we have matching aprons. So there's pants and matching aprons to make sure that we don't have a trip to the burn unit, because nothing says happy holidays like a visit to the emergency room, because that's exactly what all of our first responders want to deal with. All the firefighters that are at the firehouse just trying to have turkey, and instead they're getting a 911 call because you decided to make breakfast with no pants on. Regretting signing up for Thanksgiving 5K now. Mark, let me tell you what. I don't know where you're doing yours, but I did I believe they call it the turkey trot in Andover one year. This is before I moved into this house, before I took over cooking. And I did the Thanksgiving 5K. And let me tell you what, you may not want to get up early in the morning to do the run. You may not want to deal with any of it. Actually running the weather, by the way, on Thanksgiving looks great for football, looks great for the 5Ks in the morning. But Mark, I will tell you this, when you sit down to eat, you are going to not feel guilty about the gravy, the stuffing, the butter on the rolls, none of it, because you got up first thing in the morning and ran a 5K. So you may be second guessing signing up for it right now. I've done it in the past. The one they have in Andover, they give you full-size table talk pies at the finish, which if nothing else is going to motivate you to run on Thanksgiving, a free pie at the finish line is motivation enough. Mark, you're going to do great. And Thanksgiving dinner is only going to feel better because you already earned it before you even sit down at the table. Just do your family a solid and take a shower before you show up for dinner. I just came home from Church's Chicken and had me some spicy chicken strips. Eric, that sounds delicious. Happy Thanksgiving, says Annette. Anyone else dying watching Wednesday's tail wag? I know. We call it waving when it wiggles like this. Yeah, I know. We're talking about you. We're talking about you, Nugget. Anybody that has a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass knows that I've been up late working the last couple nights, and I put a little bed in MCHQ for Wednesday when she's good. And she sat down there last night with me while I was finishing up producing this week's podcast episode. And If you listen very carefully, I'll tell you this right now. If you listen very carefully to the intro and the outro of the podcast this week, you might hear Pug snoring in the background because I didn't have the heart to kick her out of the room while I was recording the intro and the outro. And she was sound asleep and snoring so loud. I did everything I could to get the Pug snores out of the episode, but there is a possibility that you're going to hear Pug snoring. And if you hear it, you guys got to let me know. Still no proof of no pants. One of the favorite app, water chestnuts wrapped in maple bacon, and dessert, of course, chocolate cream pie. Ash, we do have chocolate cream pie. Tradition in my family as far as desserts go, number one on Thanksgiving and Christmas is lemon meringue. We've talked about it here in the War Room in the past. It was my grandfather's favorite, and so we always make sure we have lemon meringue pie. Obviously, we have the staples, the pumpkin, the apple. There's pecan or pecan pie. There is also the strawberry rhubarb, which is my sister's favorite. And we also have the chocolate cream pie, which is also delicious. Pat's game, Thanksgiving night, says Mark. Absolutely. Wednesday is enjoying her belly rub. Yeah, exactly. She's just sitting here being absolutely spoiled. Pug snores are adorable, says Rachel. Sorry, I'm late, says Penny. Penny, you're never late. You're just not on time. It's totally fine. I do want it to go on record, by the way, that I was on time tonight. My husband's been giving me shit that the show starts late from time to time because I'm usually running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And he was like, you're always late. So tonight I was on time. So Penny, you can be late because I was on time for both of us. Marcy says, I got apple and pumpkin pie. Pecan, says Kevin. Keith says, wicked sick, double lung infection and double eye infection. Oh, the absolute worst. Get down. Good girl. Sorry to hear you're sick, Keith. That sucks. Michelle says, love chocolate cream pie. Pumpkin is the next fave. I am not a pumpkin pie fan. I have never been a pumpkin pie fan. I also do not like pecan either. I'm all about the apple, the lemon meringue, just because it's absolute tradition. And I love all things lemon, citrusy, sour, all of that stuff. Chocolate cream, apple, pretty traditional stuff. Tom says, hey, Carrie, just got here. Topic is eating, I hope. Yeah, of course. We're talking about pie, Tom. 100%. Is there anybody that makes a weird pie or has a weird pie? Lemon meringue, I feel like, is a little bit strange, but it's just normal for us because that's been family tradition for as long as I can remember. Key lime, Brett says, that's my mom's favorite. And yeah, it's absolutely delicious. When I was down in Key West with my husband and the kids earlier this year, we went on the key lime pie challenge, as many people with a backstage pass will know. And we had key lime pie at a different place every day. I definitely highly recommend the frozen key lime pie on a stick dipped in chocolate. It is goat. Graham cracker crust, the whole bit on a stick, covered in chocolate. Amazing. Jessica says cherry. We usually have cherry pie as well sometimes. My grandma used to make mince pie. I was never a fan of the mince either. Kentucky Derby pie. Chris, I don't even know what that is. Can you please abbreviate the recipe and share with us exactly what's in the Kentucky Derby pie? I'm assuming maybe something with mint because of the mint julep, but I could be wrong. I make a great humble pie, says Michael. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Michelle wants to know how mom is. A lot of the same, Michelle. Thank you for asking. My sister was with her today. She put the beating on a Five Guys cheeseburger and fries and a chocolate shake today for lunch. So Jonathan says, love chocolate cream, especially the cream. Yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong? It's just delicious. I have gained 5 pounds just hearing this dessert, says Mark. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the things, that's why I'm telling you, if you run the 5K, then you don't have to feel guilty about whatever it is that you're going to eat that day. At least that's what I think anyway. Now, for me, because I cook, my sister cooks as well. By the time it's time to eat dinner, we almost don't want to eat anymore because we've been cooking. We get up first thing in the morning, get the turkey in the oven. We have 2 different kinds of stuffing. I mean, we do the whole thing. We do have another weird family tradition, and some people have told us it's very strange outside of the family. My cousin Christy, some of my cousins always come over kind of midway through the morning to help peel the vegetables and do the kind of monotonous prep. And it's a time for like all of the cousins and the aunts and everybody. We just kind of hang out in the kitchen and cook and laugh together, have mimosas, obviously. My cousin Christy makes the best Rice Krispie treats. And she always comes over with Rice Krispie treats. And we're always emailing her and sending her TikTok videos of like weird Rice Krispie treat recipes. One year she made one shaped like a turkey. Sometimes they're made with Fruity Pebbles. Sometimes they're made with the Choco Krispies. Like she just makes different Rice Krispie treats. But we're the family that doesn't cut the Rice Krispie treats. We just rip them apart. And so we rationalize Rice Krispie treats as kind of our mid-morning snack because it has breakfast cereal in them. So when I think of the holidays, I don't necessarily think of the turkey and all of that stuff. The first things I think of are the mimosas, the cinnamon rolls, and the Rice Krispie treats, because that's kind of what we eat until we eat dinner midway through the afternoon. Thanksgiving, we have turkey and ham. Christmas, we have turkey and lasagna. Jared says, I gained 10 pounds in 10 minutes. Butterscotch pie, says Jessica. That's what Kentucky Derby pie is. Am I correct? Making apple crisp, says Derek. No cream pies here, says Mark. Really, Mark? I was waiting for that, says Donna. Let's see. Apple cranberry pie is so good. Let me tell you what. My sister and I have been on a orange cranberry kick the last couple of years. Either orange cranberry muffins, orange cranberry cake. It is like the greatest combination of flavors. It's so good. And you can only get it at certain times of the year because of the cranberries, but orange cranberry, like the coffee cake. Oh, so good. I make killer chocolate chip cookies. Or apple cranberry pie is so good. I don't know if I've ever had that, Andy, but it does sound delicious. Let's see. I have to make deviled eggs. Annette, I love eggs in pretty much every form. For some reason, deviled eggs are not my jam. But so many people love them. They're just so labor intensive. And if anybody wants to have them on the holidays, they're going to have to bring them because I am definitely not making it with me. Eric says Bloody Marys for sure. I love cranberries, says Sean. Yeah, they're so good. And one of the things that I learned on TikTok during the pandemic was making my own cranberry juice, which I do in mason jars. You got to make it about 6 weeks before you actually want to drink the cranberry juice, but you make it with fresh cranberries and you seal the jars. And so it's good for like over a year. And so I started doing that last year or the year before, and I will never buy cranberry juice ever again because the homemade cranberry juice is so much better. And so this time of year, you got to stock up on the cranberries because they're gone. So I stocked up on a bunch of cranberries, and this weekend I'm going to be making a whole batch of homemade cranberry juice because I love a good Cape Codder, kid. For anybody that's watching outside of New England, if you don't know what a Cape Codder is, it's cranberry juice, vodka, and lime. My mom makes cranberry orange relish. Rachel, this is your holiday mission. Rachel, I am begging you on bended knee. Will you please get your mom's recipe and share it with me? Either share it with me here in the War Room if you don't mind doing it publicly. Send me a private message if you don't mind sharing it with me privately. But I need the recipe for orange cranberry relish. I must have that in my life. My sister would literally die if I made that. Wednesday, why are you sitting on this side? Come on, over here. Come on, over here. I set up a camera for you on this side, and then you lay on that side. Why do you do that? Here, come over here. Wednesday. Can you get in the camera? Can you try? Can you try? Can you do that for me? Down. Down. Not on the monkey, please. Down. Down. Hey. Paw. Thank you. Other paw. Thank you. High five. Thank you. Sit down. Good girl. That's the last of the cookies. There's no more. You earned your treats. making brownies, chocolate chip cookies, and chocolate covered peanut bars or peanut butter bars. Oh, that sounds delicious. Cranberry juice and vodka. Tom, you got to have lime. Got to have the lime in there. Marcy says shrimp cocktail as well. I am not allowed to show up without the deviled eggs, says Annette. I'm sure people at the house would love the deviled eggs. I just refuse to make it. Cranberry is good for your kidneys too, says Tom. Yes, it is. It's very good for you. Jonathan says, I visited my dad on Sunday and his pug, Annabelle, always snuggles. Then I end up covered in fur. That is what happens. The black pugs don't shed as much. Then there are pugs. I bet Annabelle is a double-coated fawn pug. They shed like crazy. My pug Gizmo was like that years ago. And his fur, he would just sneeze and it would just fly off of him. Wednesday doesn't shed as much. She still sheds, but not as much. Right? My other black pug, Muggsy, that I had didn't shed as much either. So I don't know if it's a black pug thing or what. Trying a new charcuterie thingamajiggy, says Penny. We're going to need photos of the thingamajiggy, Penny, and the charcutes, which I am a huge fan of. Will do. It's one of the best things she requested to make for the holidays along with the homemade oatmeal bread. Oh, Rachel. I need the orange cranberry relish in my life. Absolutely 100%. It's called puppy glitter, Ash says. At least her fur blends with your clothes. Donna, that is not an accident. Seriously. When you wear all black all the time, having black pugs, which by the way is why Rob Zombie had a black pug, whose name I believe was Dracula or Frankenstein. I think it was Dracula. So cute. But that was years ago. I don't know if Dracula is still with us or not. But Rob Zombie, a pug person. Who else is a pug person? Mikey, the drummer from Coal Chamber, pug person. He used to have a pug named Macaroni. So cute. There are definitely some rock and roll pug people. Shark coochie board, says Rachel. Yes, exactly. A little shark coochie. Delicious. The oatmeal bread sounds so delicious. I know. I'm literally getting hungry and none of us should be eating anything but like lettuce and celery right now because of what we're going to be eating over the next couple of days. So you have to answer to Keith. Let's see. Rob Zombie is so talented. I love pugs, says Jessica. Yeah. Pug people are weird. That's why we got to stick together. You see her just sitting there staring at me while I'm talking? Watch her little pug head. Like, watch. Wednesday. Wednesday. What are you doing? Are you tipping your head? Huh? All right, we got a bunch of stuff we got to talk about, so let's get to it, shall we? Want to remind you guys about the big gig. It is happening April 29th at the DCU Center in Worcester. The headliner this year, Breaking Benjamin, along with Falling in Reverse, The Pretty Reckless, Beartooth, and Dorothy. The tickets are on sale now. Make a great holiday gift. It's happening April 29th at the DCU Center. All the details and the link to get the tickets are on the events calendar. Mike Shue and I will be there once again to host the event. The big gig returns for its second year, and it definitely looks like this is going to be something that comes back year after year, which I'm super psyched about. So the big gig, volume 2 is coming April 29th. Now, we were talking about cocktail recipes. I'm going to try, I will let you guys know about the apple cider mimosa, but I was looking for a drink that would be good to have around the holidays that seemed like it would taste really good, but also get your relatives secretly drunk so that they wouldn't argue about politics or try to change the channel from the football game. So I settled on this one, the Laser Beam. It is an ounce of tequila, an ounce of Jack Daniels, an ounce of amaretto, a half an ounce of triple sec. You shake the ingredients and then strain it into an old-fashioned glass and serve. I feel like anything in an old-fashioned glass should have a maraschino cherry in it. And if it's going to have triple sec in it, obviously it needs to be garnished with something citrusy, orange wedge, something like that. But I am a huge fan of amaretto. And the fact that it's got Jack Daniels and tequila in it basically means you're napping. So that's called the Laser Beam. And like I said, equal portions of tequila, Jack Daniels, and amaretto. Then half of a portion of triple sec. Shake the ingredients with ice in an old-fashioned glass and serve with a little bit of a garnish. And it's also a good time for me to remind you that if you're going to be making cocktails around the holiday season, the 7-in-1 bartender's tool that is now up in the shop at mistresscarrie.com. People have already been getting them shipped to them that have ordered them already, and the feedback has been amazing. People super psyched at the quality of it, saying that, you know, for people especially that have a small kitchen or that live in an apartment, to have all of these handy dandy bartending gadgets all kind of fold away. It's a Swiss Army knife for bartenders, basically. It's got the citrusy masher thing that kind of looks dirty, but we're just going to ignore that. It's got ways for you to measure. It's got the corkscrew. It's got the bottle opener. It's got all of that stuff. Just one of the many things that are available in the online shop at mistresscarrie.com. And there's a ton of new stuff. We went over all of the new stuff last week. The visors, the trucker caps, the fitted caps as well. The fitted caps have been selling great. So hopefully the people that have been getting them, a little bit of feedback would be fantastic. Let me know what you think. Let me know that they fit, that they're sized appropriately. There is a sizing chart on the website. But with all of the cocktail talk that we have here in the War Room, I really feel like this is something that's going to be super useful for you. It's got the strainer that's built in here so that you can use it to strain out pulp, ice cubes, whatever it is. It's also got the zester. Here's the strainer right here. Hold on. So you take the glass, you use this on the side, strain out the ice. It's got a knife in there. Everything you need. Bottle opener, corkscrew, all of that stuff. So this is available. The coasters, which are right here, are also available in the shop. And I got to tell you, out of everything that is new in the store, this is what is selling the fastest. I cannot believe how many people have ordered the concert-approved bag. You can wear it as a fanny pack. You can wear it crossbody. The only reason it looks white in this picture is because it's got a piece of styrofoam that is in the front pouch. There's two pouches to show you what the logo looks like. But it's purple trim. It's clear plastic. It meets all of the measurement guides for entrance into all of the venues, whether it be sporting events, concert venues, whatever. And I cannot believe how many people have been buying the concert bags, because we've all been to shows and it doesn't really matter what it is. Your keys, if you're diabetic, you want to bring in a cell phone charger, makeup, feminine hygiene products, whatever it is that you want to bring inside, especially if you got a kid with you, you want to bring in lipstick, whatever it is you want to bring into a show, you only have so many pockets. And especially for the ladies, and this will fit guys, by the way, but for the ladies, most of our pants don't even have working pockets anyway. So to have a way that you're going to be allowed inside with the things you need to carry, there you go. And these, out of everything, I've been shipping more of these out of the shop than anything. So I don't have that tool in my toolbox, says Hines. Carrie, a couple Long Island iced teas will take care of the channel changing relative, says Tom. 100%, but I think the laser beam will give him a good second. And the fact that it's got tequila in there also kind of raises the danger level on the shenanigans as well, I feel like. A couple of shots of ouzo, says Tracy. Absolutely. Kathleen says, off to work. Hope everyone has a fantastic Thanksgiving. You too, Kathy. Happy Thanksgiving. My sister says happy Thanksgiving as well. Josh, Mr. Dolan, can I take pics through the bag at a Tool concert, he says. So Josh learned the hard way, along with our friend Isaiah, who illegally took photos during a Tool show and got removed. I wouldn't suggest it, Josh, but maybe. You could have used it recently. Josh, one of the hosts of the Breaking the Ice podcast, was recording backstage at Comics Come Home recently at the Garden. And wouldn't this bag have been convenient to have, Josh, so that you could have kept track of all of your stuff while you were recording all of the celebrities that were there? Jerry says, I don't have to stay. On a side note, this month, Jason David Frank and Keith Conroy. Well, Jason David Frank, of course, the original Power Ranger. So many people shocked at the news. TMZ reporting that it hasn't been confirmed that it was a possible suicide, which is really, really sad. The old prison pocket, says Keith. Not exactly comfortable, especially if you have a big cell phone, Keith. The degree of difficulty is high, and you should probably put it in a baggie. I'm just saying. I don't recommend using the Polaroid, but I'm getting the bag for next time. I'll tell you, the bag has been unbelievable. And this was one of the things that was kind of a whim. And when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? This is something I would totally use because my husband is tired of carrying all my shit when we go to shows together. And I'm tired of having to wear like a coat to the show because I need the pockets because none of my pants have working pockets. And so it was one of those things that I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to make some and see what happens. And people have been ordering them like crazy. So, Polaroids can be dangerous, says Eric. Yeah. So you guys are going to have to give me some feedback. Let me know, obviously, if you do go to shows and you get in with them. Like I said, I did a ton of research on the bag policies at venues, and I could not find a venue where this did not meet the requirements. So you should be good to go. But if you ever get turned away with this, because like I was saying, I'm not guaranteeing 100%, but if you ever get turned away, definitely let me know so I can tell people this is a venue not to bring it to. But I really did a lot of research to make sure it was something that you could bring it in. Start a Breaking the Ice podcast in here. Brett, I've been on Breaking the Ice a couple times, actually. The old prison envelope, says Mark. Are high heels good in the cold weather? Wait, what? High heels? High heels are never good. Let's just be honest. They look great. They're sexy. You guys love them, but we hate them for the most part, unless you're Carrie Bradshaw. Put the channel on a football game and then take the batteries out of the remote control, says Jessica. 100%. Jonathan says, I love some sweet white wine or a white Russian. Let me tell you what, Jonathan, I can do shots of tequila and get less drunk than I get drinking white wine. I get 100% white girl wasted when I drink white wine, and I have to be really careful because it's delicious. Wednesday, where did you go? Oh, you're peeking in over here. Come over here. White wine's delicious. It's great in the summertime, and then I end up staggering shit-faced. So I try to stay away from the white wine as best I can. Sorry I'm late. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the war room, says William. You're not late. You're just not on time. We did a Breaking the Ice episode on the couch and started COVID a week later. If you guys go back to, March? Late February, early March, Josh? We recorded a Breaking the Ice podcast. My first invitation in Breaking the Ice was actually here in the war room, which is kind of crazy. And that was when MCHQ was in its infancy. And I took Josh and Mike Shue and Isaiah down to where I was going to build MCHQ, and there was a water stain on the ceiling. And that was when I realized a pipe was leaking in the ceiling over where the studio is now. So that was fun. You know the rule, 50 laps, says Mark. Hines wants to know how LB is. Last time I talked to him, he sounded like he was doing great. Was still recovering from his hip surgery when I talked to him last. Josh, if you have an update from LB, please feel free to post that so everybody knows. You owe 27 laps in a fish-filled Barney costume. And you have to wear pants, says Donna. Yeah, 100%. Right, Wednesday? You don't have to wear pants. No, not at all. You never have to wear pants if you don't want to. And if you do wear pants, Mike Shue gets very mad that I put clothes on you. But he's a big blue meanie, so we don't care what Mike Shue says. Richard Fitz saying welcome, or wishing you all a happy Thanksgiving. Gotta hit the road. Good night, Richard. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Let's get back on track, shall we? Let's recap last week's podcast episode 128 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, featuring David Draiman from Disturbed. And it was so good to reconnect with David Draiman. He is somebody that I have not spoken to since AAF went off the air, since the pandemic started. I talked to Mikey Wengren from Disturbed, obviously knew what was going on with Disturbed, found out a lot about how David Draiman was doing from Nita Strauss when he collaborated on Dead Inside, the song Nita released earlier this year. But now that the new Disturbed album, Divisive, is out, David and I had a great conversation kind of recapping the writing process of the record through COVID. We talked about family traditions. We talked about how he got Ann Wilson to appear on the new Disturbed album. We talked about their touring plans and the focus that they're putting on trying to manage family life and trying to have a little bit more of a work-life balance. As, the band has been a band they've been touring, road dog touring for almost 20 years now. And so the fact that the guys are prioritizing their family lives as well, I think is great. A lot of bands are doing that. And so it was really cool to catch up with David, I should say, David Draiman. Getting my last wisdom tooth taken out on Monday. Just want to make sure I could eat food on Thanksgiving. Very smart, Annette. I had all of mine taken out at the same time when I was a senior in high school, and it was not a pleasant experience. Josh says, LB seems to be doing so much better. It's been a long road for him, but the kid is doing great, it sounds like. That is fantastic news. All we could hope for. Wednesday, love the picture on your Instagram page. Wednesday's been doing a lot of blanket snuggling because she is not a fan of the cold, and she's just been too cute. Let's see. I heard Draiman was a jerk, but he seemed cool with you. Brett, I'll tell you the thing that I think makes people think David Draiman is a jerk. He says it like it is. He's a Chicago guy. He's headstrong. He has strong opinions, and he doesn't take anybody's shit. And I think that as East Coasters, especially people from the Northeast, that is kind of what makes people from Chicago and from Boston kind of kindred spirits. And David Draiman is somebody that he's not going to fake being happy or nice. If you're being a jerk, he's going to call you out on it. He has never been anything but wonderfully gracious to me over the years, as have all of the Disturbed guys, actually. And, does he get quick on social media to criticize people? Absolutely. He's a pretty even-keeled guy. Is a kind of middle of the road political person, but he also has really strong opinions. His family's from Israel. He has made pilgrimages back to his family's ancestral homeland and taken a lot of anti-Semitic shit for it. And he is someone that just refuses to not be outspoken and to be proud of his heritage and his lineage. And also the band, I think there have been a lot of, Disturbed has a ton of diehard fans, but there have always been those vocal kind of haters. And David Draiman just doesn't have any time for the bullshit. And so I think that that's why people may say that he's not a nice person. He's not a super, giggly kind of goofy person. He's not a bubbly person, but he has a great sense of humor. And you can hear it in this episode. We were laughing about a lot of stuff. I think he just comes across as being more serious than he is a lot of the time. But I love David. I mean, I've known him for so long now. He and I always get along great. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed the episode. I was so glad to finally get him on the podcast because, like I said, I've been trying to get him on for a while. And I knew that eventually the band was going to get ready to release this record. And I knew that that was going to be my chance because he was going to be sitting still long enough. I mean, he rode out the pandemic in Hawaii, like he said. And now that he's back in the lower 48, as they say, getting ready to go out and do some more shows. I was just really, really happy. If you haven't listened to the record yet, He says in the podcast when he was talking about the song that they wrote, that they got Ann Wilson to perform on, that his head was in the heavy on this record. And he and Dan Donegan really wanted to go back to the roots of Disturbed. And if you haven't listened to the record yet, there's a lot of the new music on the podcast for this episode. Yeah, they went back to the roots. They went back to the heavy for sure. Jessica says he's very honest and very genuine. Sometimes people can't handle brutal honesty and they take that as rude. And to me, having traveled extensively in the United States, I will take the brutal honesty that comes off as rude over the bless her heart, false Southern charm when they're really stabbing you in the back and motherfucking you when you walk out of the room. I would much rather the in your face, Shannon says stoic. Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't mean he's not engaging or approachable or funny or, so he's a great guy. And one of the reasons that I wanted to launch the podcast was that I was hoping it would be a mechanism for you guys to get to know these people the way that I have been fortunate enough to get to know them. The conversations in the studio during commercials when the mics weren't on, the backstage conversations, the lighthearted stuff that happened in between the radio interviews and stuff. And so for me to be able to show you the human side of people that you only see on the stage and to get to know them as people, to get to know their families and their traditions and, the backstage kind of inner workings of the band dynamics and their upbringing and their stories, their inspiration. That's why I love doing the podcast, is for you guys to be able to get to know the artist that way. Is Wednesday still wagging her tail? She's sitting on the back of the couch over here. Wednesday, come here. What's mommy got? Over here. Come here. Come here. Come over here. She's right here. Right? Make pug noises? Huh? Can you make some pug noises? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I love Ann and Nancy Wilson. Heart is great. There's a song I like from the Christmas album called It's Christmas Time. I cannot wait to see how they celebrate Heart's 50th anniversary next year. I'm super excited about that. I adore Nancy Wilson. She wrote a song about Taylor Hawkins, dedicated it to him. Yeah, it's called Amigo Amiga, which were their nicknames for each other. And you can check that out online. She released it after she performed it at his memorial service. Eric says, hey, a reminder, don't be a stranger. I'd like to have new friends from the War Room. You like what I put down or making friends, please send a friend request, especially if you're a dog lover. Don't be shy, says Eric. So looking to connect with like-minded people here in the War Room. All right, so that was episode 128. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can check it out anywhere you listen to podcasts. This week's episode 129, is an extension, I should say, of my birthday celebration in Vegas. So I told you guys when I went out to Vegas and went to that rock radio convention that I got to go to a bunch of different stuff. I went and saw Godsmack. I saw Beartooth at the Hard Rock. One of the other events that I got to go to was a listening party for the new album from Architects. And Sam Carter, the lead singer, who is right here, actually flew in from London with the specific purpose of just going to the listening party so that he could get to know the radio people that were there and be there to listen to the album with us a few weeks before it came out. And when I met him, I'd never met him before, told him that it was my birthday weekend, and he told me to start drinking immediately and not stop until I got on the plane to go home. And we laughed a little bit. And while I was with him, I was like, look, when the album comes out, would you be interested in coming on my show? He said, yes, 100%. And this episode is him living up to that promise. Architects is a British band, so there's a lot of the British humor and the British slang in this episode. Sam and I talked a lot about songwriting. We talked about running. He became an avid runner during COVID, so we kind of talked about that a little bit. We talked about touring. We talked about the Beatles because he is a diehard Beatles fan. So for anybody that doesn't love the Beatles, this is another eye roll episode for you because Sam and I got into the weeds a little bit when it came to Disturbed. When it came to the Beatles, he's another artist like Tyler Connolly from Theory of a Dead Man and so many others that have talked about actually recording at Abbey Road Studios. And the guys from Architects have recorded there as well. And so he talked a lot about that. Talked a lot about the record, about the artist that he grew up loving. There's a bunch of great stuff in here. He is someone that I think, even if you don't like the band's music, which I definitely think you will, the playlist for this episode is kind of all over the place. You're going to like him. And speaking of dog lovers, he rescued both of his dogs. The story behind the rescue is in the podcast, so I don't want to give too much away. But he's just a great guy, and I can't wait for you guys to get to know him. He's really, really funny. And he is my guest on episode 129 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, Sam Carter from Architects. That episode goes live at midnight tonight. And if you listen to the Mistress Carrie podcast, not only do you get the full-length episodes on Wednesdays, you also get the sit rep every Monday through Friday. And it's right around 5 minutes long. A lot of times it's not under 5 minutes anymore, but there have been a lot of huge music news, and especially with Grammy nominations, American Music Awards, all of that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's 5 minutes and 20 seconds, but you get everything you need to know. Movies, music, technology, tour announcements, all of that. And you get it every weekday, and it launches first thing in the morning so that no matter how early you get up, especially if you're getting up, hey, she's gnawing on the cardboard box from Mail Call. Will you get over here? Get over there. If you're getting up early to cook the turkey on Thursday, there will be a sit rep waiting for you on Thursday morning. So going to Vegas in 2 weeks. Where should we go, says Brett. Oh, my God. Okay, the show just got derailed. Where to go in Vegas? Guys, start the commenting. Where would you send a War Room member when you go to Vegas? For me, it depends on what you want to do. First of all, I love going to Vegas for the shows. I've seen all of the Cirque shows. My favorites are those tickets are hard to get and can be expensive, but worth every single penny. And then the other Cirque show that's kind of a blast, but it's an adult thing. New York has an adult Cirque show called Zumanity, which is nude contortionists, burlesque shows, drag queens. It's just, there's like naked twin girls in a giant martini glass swimming like goldfish. It's an absolute blast. If you're into that kind of thing, if you're looking for a little adventure, my suggestion is to jump off the Stratosphere, which you can do. They hook you up to the steel cable and a pulley. You get a GoPro on your wrist. I have been told jumping during the day and at night are two totally different experiences. I jump during the day, have not jumped at night. Fremont Street and the Fremont Street experience is 100% must do. Before you go, find out. You can go online and there's a big stage at the Fremont Street experience. That's in Old Town Vegas or downtown Vegas. And, there's free concerts there. Jelly Roll just broke the record for the biggest attendance at the Fremont Street experience. And a lot of huge bands play there. Seether played there. Stone Temple Pilots played there. Jelly Roll played there. So definitely go there. If you're looking for a cool place to take photos, the Neon Museum is down by Old Town as well. And that's really cool. It's kind of a graveyard of all of the old neon signs from the Strip in Vegas. It's where the old guitar is from the old Hard Rock that they decommissioned. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of great stuff. Fantastic restaurants. The Titanic exhibit at the Luxor is very cool if you're into the Titanic. The tour is really, really cool. And when you go there, you pay to get in. They give you a boarding pass. And you go, and it has a passenger's name on it. And you go through the entire Titanic exhibit with all of the mementos. There's a massive piece of the ship in there. And then at the end, you find out what happened to your passenger, whether they survived or not. It's incredible. The only other museum I've ever seen that does that is the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., where they give you the name of a victim of the Holocaust, but you don't know if they lived or died until you get through the entire museum. And they give you all the personal information about their family and everything. And then you find out if they survived the Holocaust or not. And it really is an interesting way to personalize the experience if you don't know anyone that survived the Holocaust. And so the only other time I had ever seen that where you were attached to a victim of the tragedy is the Titanic Museum, which super engaged about. Also warn you, if you take pictures with the showgirls and the characters on the strip, they're going to expect a tip, and they're not nice about it. And a bunch of the shooting ranges, you can actually go there and shoot like fully automatic weapons, machine guns, stuff like that, which is really cool. There was also a mob museum that we did not make it to on this last trip, but something we definitely want to go to because I heard it was great. That's just got like all kinds of old mob memorabilia and like all of that stuff in there. So Blue Man Group is a riot, says Kevin. Keep the links coming. Betty says, love Fremont. Fremont is a freak show in the best and worst way possible. Watch your wallets and your purses on the Fremont Street Experience because it can get a little rowdy down there, but it's great for people watching. And there's always a ton of shows that are happening. There's a ton of rock clubs. Hogs and Heifers is down right off of the Fremont Street Experience. There's always a ton of bands. Go on Polestar and find out who's going to be in town. There's a ton of residencies. Billy Idol's residency is there right now. Aerosmith is getting ready to wrap up their residency for the year. Vegas is great. I hope we answered your question. All right, let's get back to the podcast. Not only can you get the sit rep, but also I will tell you there are some bonus episodes coming in the next couple of weeks. So if you haven't subscribed to the Mistress Carrie podcast yet, you can do it at any one of these places: Apple, Google, Spotify, Odyssey, iHeart, Stitcher are some of the biggest ones. You can also listen to the podcast at mistresscarrie.com. And you can also go to the Mistress Carrie page at pikefm.com where you can hear me every weekday afternoon. And you can listen to all of the episodes on my page of pikefm.com as well. But basically anywhere you can listen to podcasts, whatever the app is, just look up Mistress Carrie. When you see this artwork, you know you're in the right spot. And there you go. Holding strong as far as podcast locations at 135 countries. The podcast continuing to grow. The darker shade of yellow, the more concentration of listeners it is. And so looking at it and seeing listeners in Australia, in Brazil, all over Europe, India, obviously the United States, the darkest shade of orange is pretty spectacular. So I want to make sure I thank everyone in all 135 countries for checking out the podcast. All right, want to remind you guys, this show is officially on sale. It just got announced. Theory of a Dead Man and Skillet with special guest Saint Asonia. The tickets went on sale this past Friday at 10 a.m. The show is happening February 25th, and the venue, Roadrunner, is one of the newer venues. It's in Brighton, right down the street from the old WAF studio. And you'll remember Alter Bridge with Mammoth WVH are also playing at Roadrunner in February. Both of those shows listed on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. The new Godsmack album, Lighting Up the Sky, is coming out on the 24th. They released a new single, You and I, and they also released the video for the first single, Surrender, that went #1 recently with a lot of behind-the-scenes footage and some performance footage as well. Anthrax and Black Label Society are going to be at the House of Blues February 5th. Actually, the first photographs of the behind-the-scenes rehearsals of the Pantera tour just came out in the last couple of days. And of course, Anthrax and Black Label are going to have to tour around Charlie Benante and Zakk Wylde, who are taking the place of Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul on these Pantera shows that launch at the end of December. And they just added 7 more shows in Europe. And I cannot wait to see Dimebag's best friend, Zakk Wylde, pay tribute to him on stage. And so many people are saying, you know what, I just want to hear these songs live again. And that's exactly why they're doing it. They're not trying to become Pantera. It is a tribute to Vinnie and Dime, and also a celebration of the music that they made with Phil and Rex. Record Store Day is coming up this Friday, and there is a ton of new music coming out and hundreds of limited edition releases, vinyl, colored vinyl, reissues, limited edition, all kinds of stuff. So find a brick and mortar record store that is near you. And if you're going to be doing any in-person shopping on Friday, please stop by a locally owned record store. Joe's Albums right on Main Street in downtown Worcester is a perfect example. Foreigner announced their farewell tour. The tickets are already on sale. They're going to be with Loverboy on the tour. They're doing 2 shows in New England, August 4th at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion, August 5th at the Xfinity Center in Mansfield. And both of those dates are on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Aaron Lewis at Foxwoods on April 22nd. And speaking of Aaron Lewis, Mike Mushok just confirmed in a recent interview that Stained are putting the finishing touches right now on a brand new Stained album, which is going to come out at some point next year, which I'm super excited about. And I've been telling you guys, a ton of new music is coming out in 2023. A new Stained record, a new Filter record is coming out. The Dropkick Murphys are going to be the 17th and 18th of March at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway, the 19th of March at the House of Blues. Those tickets are on sale now. And also on St. Patrick's Day, Jerry Cantrell continuing his tour in support of his latest solo album, Brighton. He is going to be at the Cabot Theater on March 17th. Those tickets are already on sale. Blink-182 have reunited with Tom DeLonge. They've got their new album on the way, and they're going to be at the TD Garden on May 21st, and those tickets are on sale already as well. Good luck getting them. They're not as hard to get as Taylor Swift, but when Blink-182 announced that they were reuniting with Tom DeLonge, they put those tickets up for sale, and they flew. Metallica made this announcement today that their Helping Hands concert, which is happening on December 16th in California, Wednesday, shush, they're going to stream it live on Paramount Plus. It is going to start on Paramount Plus at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and they're also going to stream the opening act, Greta Van Fleet. So this just got announced today. Metallica live streaming from their Helping Hands concert that benefits the All Within My Hands Foundation. That's going to be at 8:30 Eastern on December 16th. And the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, they start their New England shows tomorrow. 2 shows at Mohegan tomorrow, a matinee and a night show. Then on Friday, they're going to be at the SNHU Arena in Manchester, and that is 2 shows, a matinee and an evening show. And then coming up on Saturday at the DCU Center, a matinee and an evening show. And if you didn't listen to, is it episode 119 featuring Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake and the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, we talked a lot about TSO and the behind-the-scenes inner workings of the tour. So if you're going to the show, make sure you check out that episode of the podcast. We touched on it a little bit, some of the releases that are coming out on Record Store Day. And these are just coming out this Friday. It just happens to be Record Store Day. David Bowie's Divine Symmetry is coming out. Ringo Starr and his all-star band. Their live album, Live at the Greek Theater from 2019 is coming out. And the long-awaited Tom Petty Live at the Fillmore 97 is coming out. That's the legendary gig. They played 20 shows at the Fillmore and got the nickname of the Fillmore House Band. And that live set is coming out on Friday as well. And like I said, Record Store Day is coming up on Friday. Okay. Mail call this week. I got something in mail call, and when I opened the package, The letter said that I didn't have to open it in the war room. I couldn't tell if that was a request for me to not open it in the mail call in the war room, but I really wanted to brag because it was such a gracious, thoughtful, and amazing, wonderful gift that I wanted to share it with you. So Travis, Double Horns Travis here in the war room, is a Marine Corps veteran. And he is also the host of Oscar Mike Radio, the podcast that has had me on, how many times now, Travis? 4 times, 5 times? It's been quite a lot. And Travis started crocheting as a way to kind of clear his head, do something, nervous hands, idle hands, the devil's handiwork, whatever that is. And he said, my foray into crochet started 6 years ago on Oscar Mike Radio when a lady in Georgia needed some help finding yarn. The Project Linus Club at work said they would help me out, and I had to learn to crochet. It was good-natured ribbing, watching a Marine with an ogre-sized hands or mitts start with a crochet hook, but 6 years later, I'm still doing it, and the blankets go to Project Linus as fundraisers and as gifts. I started this one at the tail end of my quad surgery, just in time for winter, even though on November 12th, it was 75 degrees outside. There are 2 miles of yarn in these blankets, and I don't know how many stitches in each one. I don't know why I keep doing it, but people like them. The rest is history. You don't have to show this in the war room. This blanket was the period on the end of a very long sentence. Enjoy, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year from Travis. And I thought it was so cool because he made me this amazing blanket, which is so warm and so unbelievable. And Wednesday loves it and has been trying to climb in the cardboard box. She just came back. Do you want to sit on my lap on the blanket? Travis made this for us. Do you want to sit in it? Come here. Come here. Come over here. You want to sit in the blanket? See? See? It's unbelievably warm and such a wonderful, homemade gifts for the holidays are so wonderful because I think more often than not, society in general, and not just American society, but internationally, gift giving has become something where you buy something for someone. And when you give something that took so long to make that you know the person made for you and took the time, it just means so much. And when I opened this box, Travis, I was so in awe of what a wonderful gift it was and how thoughtful it was. And I absolutely love it. And thank you so much. It's really, really beautiful. And I can't wait to show it off. One of the other Thanksgiving traditions that always happens in my family is that my cousins, especially my cousin Christy, who makes the Rice Krispie treats, they're the ones that always fall asleep snuggled up on the couch. They either snuggle up on the couch with the babies in the family or they snuggle up on the couch with the pugs in the family. And they always end up falling asleep and then waking up and having lemon meringue pie. And so I have a feeling that the family is going to be snuggled under this giant blanket that I absolutely love. So is it an Afghan? What do you call it? An Afghan, a blanket? If it's crocheted or knit, is there a specific term? I'm not sure. But yeah, homemade gifts are amazing, says Jessica. Christine says that is awesome. Amazing job, Travis, says Shannon. Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's so cool. And the fact that you can do it with your giant mitts is freaking impressive, dude, because you have giant hands. By the way, Travis is one of the reasons why you can get the fitted cap in extra, extra large, because he told me the size of his head. And so when I was looking for fitted caps, I wanted to make sure that I could get them in bigger sizes. And I put one of those giant hats, the Travis size hats on my head, and I look like a little kid wearing their dad's hat. I guess I have a small melon, right? Wednesday, not as small as your little melon. Come here. Right? Do you just want to be loved? Is that it? Do you just want me to rub you? Huh? Is that it? You just want to hang out with me? I don't have any more cookies. Do you want to sit on my lap? Is that what you want to do? Go ahead. Go ahead. It's okay. If you're going to sit there, I'll turn the pug cam back on. What are you doing? So thank you, Travis. Absolutely love the gift. It was beautiful and wonderful. Mark says 8 1/4 here. Small heads have to stick together, says Jessica. I wish, she wants to climb in the box with the blanket, Travis. She's on the back of the couch trying to hop in the box. Wednesday, what are you doing? Are you going to get in the box? What's in the box? Go ahead and get in it if you want. Go ahead and get in it. You want to get in the box? Go ahead. She's thinking about it. That's how much she loves the blanket. I'm not even kidding. She wants to lay in it. In the box. I don't know why. All right. So, want to remind you guys about a couple of things. Number one, there's Mistress Carrie gear at Joe's Albums, and Friday is Record Store Day. Joe and his staff are amazing. If you love combing through old school record stores, but an old school record store that is clean and organized with well-trained and knowledgeable staff, Joe's Albums in Worcester. There's also a Mistress Carrie rack that has got my suggestions and some really cool stuff that you can check out. And he's also got Mistress Carrie merch. All of the new merch is available in the store. And I will tell you this, there is a massive Black Friday sale that starts at midnight on Black Friday and goes through midnight on Cyber Monday that is available to everyone. Now, if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you're also going to get a coupon code that's going to be good starting on Black Friday through the weekend that's going to give you a discount off of everything in the store. And then you've also gotten a couple of coupon codes to get the bartender tool at a discount and also the concert event bag at a discount as well. So if you have a Backstage Pass, you can definitely do some shopping. But you will notice in the Mistress Carrie shop, there's going to be a ton of stuff for sale. All the t-shirts, all of the tank tops, the coffee mugs, the Christmas ornaments. There is it's the biggest sale I've ever done on the website, and it starts on Black Friday. So want to make sure you guys know about that. Happy birthday if today is your birthday. Happy unbirthday, Keith. If today is your birthday, you share it with Tina Weymouth from the Talking Heads. You also share it with Steven Van Zandt, little Steven, and was it Silvio Dante was his character in The Sopranos? By the way, did you know he was born in Boston? He was. And also Rodney Dangerfield were born on this date. So if today's your birthday, I know we got a new 50-year-old here in the War Room. So happy birthday. Happy unbirthday, Keith, and happy birthday to anybody else that's joining us. William says 7 1/4. William, if you check out the fitted caps at mistresscarrie.com, there is a size breakdown on which size, because they come in extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, and then double extra large. So if you know you're a 7 1/4, there is a size guide on the website. Let's see. No respect, says Mark. I wish I had that bag when I went to see Green Day and Jimmy Eat World. You can always get it for next time. 2023 is going to be an incredibly busy concert year, much like 2022. So they're not going to lift these bag restrictions anytime soon. So if you are looking to go to shows, they can ship pretty quick. I have really been trying to get these orders shipped within a few days to make sure that you guys get your stuff as fast as possible. And as we get closer to the holiday, I'll really be making sure that I get this stuff to you guys as quick as I can. So whatever you get on the website, if you can order it on the website, that means it's in stock. And so you should get it a few days after that. 59th anniversary of the JFK assassination today. Brett, I saw that earlier today and I couldn't believe it. I went to Dallas a few years ago with my husband and we went to Dealey Plaza, and it was really interesting because my husband is a pretty well-trained and well-versed marksman in his career in the Marine Corps. And so it was really easy to go with him and a bunch of other Marines and kind of look at the angles and look at the shot that was taken and when. And I talked to the conspiracy theory guys that were there. It was really crazy. Matter of fact, there's a photo gallery of it. If you're on my Facebook page, the Mistress Carrie Facebook page, go into my photo albums, and there's an album that says Mistress Carrie Takes on Dallas. And in that album are my pictures from my trip to Dealey Plaza. I'm not a member of QAnon. I am not someone that usually succumbs to a lot of conspiracy theories. I do not believe the earth is flat. But I got to tell you, I don't think we know everything about the JFK assassination. I don't know what the truth is. But having been there, first of all, I couldn't believe how small that area is. We've all seen the Zapruder film and the news footage. And for some reason, I just always imagine, hey, stop it. Stop. Sorry, she was scratching the couch. We've all seen the news footage. But when you go there and they have markings on the pavement where the first and second bullet hit JFK. And then you see the overpass. And I couldn't believe how small and confined it was. But when you look at it from a marksmanship point of view, which is why I was excited to go with the people I went with, they were like, this was not the optimal shot. A trained marksman would not have relied on the shot that was taken. They would have taken it before they made the turn to go under the overpass because he was coming straight at the book depository. Now, there is a tour in the book depository that I did not go on. And the next time I go to Dallas, I am 100% going because I really want to go in there and see the vantage point from the window, but seeing it from the ground, go and see it for yourself. But I couldn't believe that it was 59 years ago. I remember going to see the Oliver Stone film and coming home and asking my parents, do people really believe the Warren Commission? Like, I remember having that conversation with my parents, and my parents going, it was the only information that anyone was given. And it was a really interesting conversation. So my dad remembers that day, says Jessica. The mob had Kennedy killed, says Mark. That's only 5 hours away from me, says William. Jen says, no, we don't know 100%. I just can't believe that this stuff hasn't been declassified yet. And maybe because all of the parties involved haven't died yet. Sometimes they won't declassify it for 100 years to make sure that anyone involved or even the children, the descendants are gone as well. I don't know. CIA had Marilyn Monroe killed because she knew too much from banging Kennedy. These are the conspiracy theories. But go there and see for yourself because it was really, really interesting. So happy birthday to everybody. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Want to remind you that if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, want to let you guys know that our monthly live stream is coming up Sunday night at 7:30. I thought it would be good to get together after the holiday, kind of decompress, talk about what we did over the holiday and kind of catch up. And so we're going to do that at 7:30 on Sunday night. I'll be sending you guys a link if you have a Backstage Pass. You know what I'm talking about. Also, you find out who's going to be on the podcast ahead of time so you can submit question submissions. You also get travel blog updates. I have one more trip scheduled for later on this year, and I always take you with me if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass. The I Prevail tickets, obviously I Prevail was just here. That is a typo on the screen. I do have some tickets coming up for the Backstage Pass holders and possibly some tickets for the War Room as well for some shows in early 2023. So be on the lookout for that. And if you have a Backstage Pass, these are the coupon codes that I was telling you about. You can get the 7-in-1 bartender tool for only $25 now through Cyber Monday. And you can also get 20% off of the concert-approved event bags now through Cyber Monday as well. You have the coupon code for those already, and you'll be getting one that's good for the entire store before Black Friday as well. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll drink for the typo. All right. Want to remind you guys of all the places that you can find me on social. And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to over the next couple of days, this is the first time that a lot of people have been able to come back to New England from other parts of the country to celebrate the holidays because of COVID. So obviously in 2020, after AAF went off the air, that holiday, a lot of people didn't travel. Last year, a lot of people didn't travel. There are a lot of people that grew up here listening to me on the radio and that have moved away and have no idea about the podcast, have no idea about the War Room, have no idea that I'm on the air on the Pike or on Westwood One. And so they're going to come back, get reacquainted, maybe go to some of their high school reunions this weekend, maybe hear me on the air this week. And there's going to be a whole new group of people that maybe just don't follow me on social media and had no idea about the podcast. So I'm going to ask you guys, because it has been proven through statistics that people find out about new podcasts the most through friends and family. So if you're getting together with family from out of town, out of state, that have traveled from across the country, that you know grew up listening to AAF, let him know about Mike Shue. Let him know about Mike Shue's podcast and his radio show on the Pike. Let him know about me and mine. I bumped into so many people at the supermarket the last couple days, just getting ready for Thanksgiving, that were like, oh my God, Mistress Carrie, I miss you so much on the air. And when people say that to me, I'm always like, you know, I'm back on the radio, right? And they're like, no. So getting the word out because of COVID and because of just how crazy the world has been the last couple of years, it's still happening. People still 209 episodes in don't know about the War Room. They don't know about the podcast. They don't know about the Pike. So help me spread the word over the next few days. And we'll get together if you have a Backstage Pass on Sunday night. If not, we will reconvene here next Tuesday night for episode 210 of Cocktails in the War Room. And I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday. I've said this the last 2 years, which seems crazy that this is the third Thanksgiving that we have spent together. 2020, 2021, and now 2022. And I've said the same thing each and every year. I am so grateful for you guys. I am so thankful that you guys have been on this journey with me, that you hang out with me on Tuesday nights, that you support the podcast, that you listen to the radio show, that you have been there to be supportive of the next phase of my career, but that you have also been there through all of the personal ups and downs that I've gone through over the last few years as well. Getting married, getting engaged. I couldn't wait to tell you guys. Getting married, riding through my husband's deployments with me, navigating my mother's illness with me, just navigating the pandemic with me and everything that has happened. We've gone through a lot, and this is the time of year we should be vocally grateful and thanking the people that we love in our lives every day. But Thanksgiving reminds us to really make sure that we're saying the things that sometimes we forget to say because we think they go unsaid. We think that the people that we love know we love them. We think that people know that we're grateful for them, and they may, but it's always nice to hear. So before we leave, to you guys, thank you so much for everything. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. I hope you get to see people you haven't been able to see in the last couple of years. I hope you have amazing food and laughs. I hope there is less family drama, less arguing about politics, less arguing about the pandemic. And I hope we can all just find a way to move forward and to really enjoy the holiday this year. So cheers to you guys. I love you guys. I am so thankful and grateful for you. Happy Thanksgiving. Wednesday and I will see you guys here next Tuesday night for episode 210. And don't forget episode 129 of the Mistress Carrie podcast featuring Sam Carter from Architects goes live at midnight tonight. Good night, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.